United Nations Refugee Agency High Commissioner Philippe Grandi on Wednesday visited Ethiopia to meet with displaced people in the country and call for more aid and long-term solutions to help those displaced by the recent conflict in the East African nation. Mr. Grandi also made an appeal for further support for the reconstruction and recovery efforts in the face of conflict and climate change. Moses Emendi tells us more in this report.
The Unhcr chief made these calls while meeting with senior government officials and displaced communities in the Tigray and Amhara regions. Cognizant of the impact of the civil war in Ethiopia, the UN Refugee Agency official highlighted the need for better health, education and sanitation services to enable refugees and host communities to thrive in line with the Global Compact on Refugees. In his deliberation, Mr. Grandi noted that progress is visible on the ground, adding that the displacement site will be more accessible now.
The peace agreement that was signed in Pretoria and the Nairobi declaration that followed a few months ago have improved the situation considerably. So all this work that has been very difficult during the hostilities is going to be more accessible now.
According to the UN High Commissioner, people are now getting assistance and some have started to go back to their homes, but more needs to be done to support the reconstruction and recovery efforts in some of the affected areas, including the Tigray region. He further outlines that it will be critical to improve their living conditions and work towards lasting solutions, including voluntary returns to their communities. The peace deal signed by the federal government and opposition forces in northern Ethiopia in November has enabled UNHCR and other partners to step up the delivery of the much-needed aid, including medicines, shelter, materials, clothes, household items, and blankets. According to the UN Office for the Coordination and Humanitarian Affairs OCHA latest report, food deliveries had reached more than 3.8 million people in the Tigray region from mid-November to January. 4.2 million Ethiopians are said to be internally displaced, largely resulting from the conflict and tensions. Even so, the country hosts more than 800,000 refugees and asylum seekers, mainly from South Sudan, Somalia, and Eritrea. As the situation evolves, the UNHCR chief reaffirms his commitment to support the humanitarian response for refugees and internally displaced people in Ethiopia and work towards achieving long-term solutions, including for those displaced by drought and the impact of climate change. The commissioner called on the international community to also increase their financial commitment to support refugees in Ethiopia, where he says efforts are currently underfunded. For Eyeafrica News, I am Moses Emendi.